Spanish court officials say that a train driver was on the phone at the time of last week's deadly crash. Santiago de Compostela, you'll remember that, and using data from black boxes on the train. The court also says the train was travelling at 192 kilometres per hour when it derailed. That is twice the reported speed limit on the track where it crashed. Carl Penhall on the phone from Spain for you. Carl, what we don't know at this point is why the train was going that fast. It seems remarkable that we are, though, getting this information from the courts when this is an ongoing investigation and possibly a criminal case going forward.
That does seem quite surprising, Becky. In fact, I just talked to the state railway company, Renfe, and the spokeswoman there said, well, you know, that's the court's decision. We're unaware of why the court has decided to release this black box information now rather than holding on to it until the investigation is further on or concluded. But what we do know from the information that's been released today, we know that when the train actually hit that curve and derailed, it was travelling at 153 kilometres an hour. That's almost twice the permitted speed on that curve, which should be 80 kilometres an hour. A few seconds prior to reaching the curve, that's where the train had been travelling at 192 kilometres an hour. And in a sense, that is, the train should have been braking much sooner than that. The train should have been braking, in fact, a minute or a couple of minutes before getting toward that curve. But then comes this information that black box also shows us that the train driver was on the telephone. Now, initially, we had heard those reports late last week and assumed that the driver maybe just be chatting to somebody carelessly on the phone. But it seems far from it. He did not initiate the call. He received the call on a work phone that had been issued to him by the state railway company. And in fact, he was talking to one of the railway controllers at the time about what to do on the next part of the route. And that call began several minutes before the train derailed, and he was still on the phone when the train ran off tracks. So that really does raise the question, had he been distracted by this phone call? Was he more concentrated on the phone call than what he was doing on the track? And also, one would have to ask, why was the controller phoning him at that time? Because again, according to Renfe, the controllers have real-time information on what position the train is on the track. And so the controller really should have known that the train was approaching a very dangerous curve, Becky.